Today's Wheelie Good Tip is brought to you by Coloplast. Thanks guys for your support.
Talking to Nicola today about solutions for bowel care. When you've got a bowel regime and things possibly aren't necessarily going unreliably, shall we say, the extreme end is to get a colostomy and that, but I understand there's some sort of other things we can try before going to that thing.
Yes, there certainly is. And around about 80% of spinal cord injury people will experience some difficulties with their bowels over time. They might not in the early days, but as we get older and as our lifestyles change, they may run into issues with that. So there tends to be like a pyramid of options available. So we tend to start off very conservatively around diet, medications, there's things like manual evacuations or manual stimulation. But over time, if that no longer is working and you're not getting a good result with that, then sometimes people do jump straight up to a colostomy as a solution to that. But there are other options like transanal irrigation, which is a bowel washout that people can use, and they can do it at home over a toilet or a commode. So that gives another option towards bowel management. I think the important thing is people need to work out what works best for them and their lifestyle, and the important thing is really going to an option that gives you predictability around your bowel so that you can get out and about, you can do the things and not worry about either chronic constipation or having a bowel accident. So that's the important thing. So whatever treatment you go towards, it's really good to just know what options are available, and certainly transanal is something that people can
So it's
look
not just
into.
one or the other. It's not just either.
No.
A good bowel regime, and once it goes problematic, you're not jumping straight to the colostomy necessarily.
Yeah, I think it's really good that you look at all your options, what's available. Going into a colostomy, that's a surgical technique that's done, so you may not want to jump straight into a surgery. My advice is that you talk to your health professional, and you can certainly chat to them and say, look, is transanal an option for me? Can I look at doing something like that? Some people will do it for quite a while, and then they may end up having a colostomy, but that's their option, that's their choice. So the one I've got here, the Peristine, it has a catheter that is inserted into the rectum, and you've got a control panel here and a bag of water. You insert this into the rectum, you inflate the balloon, and then that holds this catheter in place, and then you instill the required amount of water up into the rectum, and that stimulates a couple of receptors in your large bowel, which starts a peristaltic motion going, and that's what then, when you deflate the balloon, the catheter comes out, and then the water will come out with any matter as well. So you have an option of either going a bit higher up in the bowel, doing what we call transanal irrigation, so we're getting up into that the edge of the transverse colon, or you may be just needing something where you're just washing out the lower part of the bowel, and so we have a cone, so this is inserted in. This you actually have to hold in place, and then you can instill a required amount of water to do a lower bowel washout.
How long does it take?
It depends on people's anatomy and how they do it. Generally it's around about 30 minutes is what we say, allocate 30 minutes time. Something that you should, when you start off, do it daily at a similar time each day. So if you decide night time's better for you, or in the morning is better, you pick the time of the day, but roughly stay to that time. A lot of people can move it out to after the first few weeks of getting used to it and getting a routine established. They can stretch it out to 2, sometimes even 3 days where they're doing an irrigation. So 30 minutes is not too bad if you're doing it twice, every second day.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially if your bowel regime has deteriorated to the stage where you can be waiting there for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's right.
It's a great improvement.
Yeah, it certainly is. And this is really good for people with, as I said, chronic constipation. anyone who's having a bowel accident or anyone spending more than, 3/4 of an hour to an hour in the toilet, or repeatedly going back in, feeling like, if they've got fecal matter still there, they just feel like they're not completely emptied. And that's what transanal irrigation will do. It'll give you a good descending colon clean out, so that you've got that predictability, so you know you can go out and spend your day out, go to work, go socialising without having to worry about knowing where the next toilet is.
The predictability and the reliability is number one.
Yeah, that's something we all want in our lives, isn't it? Yes.
Great, thanks Nicola.
You're most welcome, thank you. So this is the system here, which I've taken out of the bag. It comes in a nice grey toilet bag, so you can carry this round. And we have some people that go on a long haul flight, so they might go out to the airport an hour earlier, and they'll actually do an irrigation there, and then they can pack all their equipment in and take it with them. So you can go travelling with it. That's really important too. Gives people that freedom to get on a plane and do a long haul flight.